I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
What makes The Godfather a masterpiece? You might say it's the incredible performances, memorable dialogues,
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
or iconic scenes. And even though it excels in each of those things, one often overlooked aspect is the masterful use of cinematography to tell the story without using any words. In this video, we will explore how the film's visual language tells the story and reveals the hidden nature of its characters. When you think of the look of The Godfather, you think of darkness. And that's because cinematographer Gordon Willis was known as the Prince of Darkness for a reason. He knew how to use shadows to create these stunning compositions that were almost like paintings. His precise handling of color and chiaroscuro evoke paintings by Leonardo da Vinci, Rembrandt, and mainly Caravaggio. It's that good. He wasn't just going for a cool look, he was using light and shadow to tell us something about the characters. Each one of them is lit in a way that reflects their inner nature. He did this by removing field lighting from their faces, which was controversial at the time, since Hollywood actors' faces were almost entirely lit in most movies. But this more dramatic approach gives us the hard, iconic lighting of the film. Now, one of the first things that you notice about the movie is that it's pretty dark. However, all of that darkness had a purpose, as Willis wanted to create a sense of duality between good and evil. You see it right from the beginning with that zoom out on Bonacera. He's surrounded by darkness, which tells us that he's entering the dark world of the mob. And then we close in on Vito Corleone in complete darkness, which tells us that this guy is the real deal. He's the Godfather. And speaking of the Godfather, one of the things that's so cool about the way Willis lights Marlon Brando is that he casts shadows over his eyes by lightening him from above. Now, some people might think that's just to cover up the fact that Brando had a lot of makeup on, but I don't buy that. I think it's because Willis wanted to create a sense of mystery around the character. We can't see his eyes clearly, so we don't really know what he's thinking. He might do something dangerous in the blink of an eye, but we're not able to tell, and that just adds to the tension of the scene. It's not just the lighting in a specific scene that tells us a story, it's also the way the lighting changes over the course of the movie. Let's take Michael Corleone for example. When we first meet him, he's softly lit, almost as if he's still innocent. To convey that he's not yet involved in the family business, he's shot in exteriors, with hard lighting that contrast with the striking shadows of the interior shots. However, as he becomes more involved in the family business, the shadows start creeping in. When he goes to Sicily, he's fully lit again, as if he's found some peace. But we know that won't last. By the end of the movie, his face has more shadows than his father ever had, indicating that there is no more light left in him, and that he's become even more ruthless than his old man. And then there's Kay. When we first meet her, she's brightly lit and even more so than any other character, to convey that she's innocent and naive to the world that surrounds her. But something interesting happens in this scene, where Michael tells her that he will have to leave without knowing when he will return. Right then and there, we begin to see darkness slowly appearing on her face, and by the end of the movie, she's in darkness when she realizes what Michael has become. It's like she's lost her innocence, and the lightning is reflecting that. Another way cinematography tells us the story without the use of dialogue is through the use of color. Take for example the iconic rose that Vito Corleone wears at the beginning of the movie. What does that red flower really mean? Some might say it represents love if we're using color psychology, but according to a study by the University of Berkeley, it could also stand for passion or foreshadowing some serious bloodshed. And when we look back on the film under this thesis, we can see just how much that little rose predicted the Don's downfall, like how his love for his family brought his business to the brink of collapse, and how he met his peaceful end thanks to a heart attack. But that's not all. That rose shows up again at Vito Corleone's funeral, where all the mob bosses leave roses on his coffin without showing any real emotion. It's like those roses, symbols of passion and love to Vito Corleone, are taken to the grave along with him, and in their place, we are left with Michael's dark cruelty. And let's not forget about those oranges. You know, the ones that always seem to pop up before someone gets killed? While the filmmakers may have confirmed that it's just a coincidence, I believe there is some symbolism behind the oranges that appear before Don Corleone's assassination attempt. The oranges falling to the ground are like a symbol of the blood that's been spilled and the chaos that's about to ensue within the family. After this moment, we are left unsure of the Don's fate, whether he's alive or dead, as the darkness of the scene leaves us literally in the dark about what will happen next. So there you have it. Thanks to Gordon Willis' cinematography and Francis Ford Coppola's vision to use pure cinema by telling us the story visually, it's no wonder why The Godfather has become a classic in the world of film and a reference for countless filmmakers over the years. These are just some examples of the genius visual composition, one that I grow to appreciate even more with each new viewing. It seems like I learn something new every time. I'd like to know your thoughts on The Godfather and what makes it a classic in your opinion. I'll see you guys on the next video.